All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this because the Supreme Court is screwed. Now, we know for a fact that George Soros allegedly is what I've been seeing and stuff like that, been paying a lot of these justices to go against everything President Trump has been trying to do. President Trump been trying to make America great again, just like he promised us by getting these illegal aliens out of here. And now you got these Democratic judges. You got the justice, the Supreme Court, pretty much siding with the Democrats. You got another judge, Boisberg, was telling President Trump to turn the plane around and drop illegal aliens back into this country. And then it brings me to this point where you got sitting Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is defending the fact of adult content being placed in elementary schools for our kids. This right here is just insane to me. Like, they got with LGBTQ books, adult content, and defending the fact that it should be in elementary schools. Like, I'm just so sick of this mess. This is just insane. What is going on with the Supreme Court? And Justice Roberts is siding with all of this crap. Remember, we thought Justice Roberts was at least, you know, like in the middle, neutral. Like he had some type of rapport with President Trump. Come to find out, he don't. He was just another backstabber. And you only had with Justice Alito and Justice Clarence Thomas is the only two that's been siding with President Trump. Everybody else been going against everything President Trump has been trying to do. So this is insane. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this so y'all can get like the more facts on it. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support, and shout out to the ones that always stay to the very end and let me know that you did watch the entire video. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps to get the video out there. And without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and dive straight into this. The Supreme Court is just stupid, man. I don't know what's going on with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it, but the ongoing situation with our Supreme Court is so much worse than any of us thought. You see, just yesterday afternoon, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson just publicly defended the constitutionality of explicit LGBTQ literature being placed inside of elementary school classrooms.
Wow.
You heard that right. The highest court in the country now has a sitting justice actively defending profane content in public schools. And her argument, well, it's about as insulting to your intelligence as you would expect. You see, her defense of this sort of profane, explicit literature existing in elementary school classrooms is built on this entirely ridiculous and disingenuous notion that just because the books are technically in the classroom doesn't mean that children are actually going to read them. But you know what? Why don't you guys just take a listen to what Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson had to say for herself.
We don't at this moment, based on the record you've provided, know that these books aren't just sitting on the shelves. And you've said that if that's the case, that's not going to be enough.
I disagree, Your Honor. The record is undisputed, and I, again, will refer you to the district court transcript at 63, where counsel
So you're
said
saying the Fourth Circuit is wrong when it says, quote, we don't have any information about how any teacher or school employee has actually used any of the books.
The Court of Appeals did not dispute that some of the books have to be used, and we have all of the teachers' instructions that the board's not disputed.
I understand that, but the Fourth Circuit made a ruling that we don't know, quote, what any child has been taught in conjunction with their use. So are you saying that you do have affidavits and information about teachers in the classroom and what they've taught children of different ages about these books?
Yes, we do. All of our clients have, in their declarations, they describe which books are going to be read to their children.
Were the clients in the classroom?
You know what the problem is that I can't stand when this happens. He'll sit there and he'll be quiet and he'll let her talk. As soon as he try to explain his side, she just keep cutting him off. I can't stand when they do that. When he's trying to call you out because you a liar, you trying to defend the fact that these books is in the classroom, like you want our kids to see this and you want teachers to read that stuff to them. And this guy, Eric Baxter, can't even get out a word without you just over talking him. He's literally letting you talk, and when his turn to talk, you can't shut up. You're just trying to over talk him.
About teachers in the classroom and what they've taught children of different ages about these books?
Yes, we do. All of our clients have, in their declarations, they describe which books are going to be read to their
Were
children.
the clients in the classroom?
They were not in the classroom, but they know. And again, we don't have.
Look at the bottom down there. It said parents sued a Maryland school district to opt their kids out of learning from LGBTQ books. Now think about it. Parents sued the Maryland school, but yet you got this woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson, defending the fact. This is insane.
Have to wait until the injury has happened to get relief. The point of a preliminary injunction is that we can, when the injury is imminent, we can seek relief.
All right,
to
let me
stop it
ask
from
you
happening
another.
before our children's innocence is destroyed.
Let me ask you another series of questions.
Like I said, folks, Supreme Court Justice Jackson is smug, condescending, and disingenuous.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely repulsive behavior. But so just to recap, her legal reasoning is that even if the books are sitting there in the classrooms, explicit, graphic, and completely inappropriate for children, it's apparently not a big deal because the kids might not be reading them.
But
that's like saying it's fine to...
But still, though, like this woman is so slow. I mean, you got a lot of parents that don't even want their children to look at those books. Like even looking at the outside of it. It's a lot of students that might go over there and open them books up and the teacher don't even know that they reading out of it or they didn't open it. Some teachers are over talking to other students and stuff like that, other kids in the classroom. You might have that one kid that walk over there, grab that book and just open it. The book shouldn't even be in there. So now she's trying to say, oh, well, it could be in there, but that don't mean they reading it. This is, I'm telling you, man, these Democrats are something else, man.
Store drugs in a daycare center because the toddlers probably won't get into them. Folks, this is a perfect example of what we are dealing with right now. A justice so ideologically committed to the progressive cult that she's willing to abandon any pretense of logic or common sense. She knows these books are obscene. She knows they're wildly inappropriate for children.
Exactly.
But rather than admitting that fact, she moves the goalpost saying, well, technically, they're just in the classroom and maybe the kids aren't even going to be reading
Maybe.
them. Now, for the last several years, American parents across the country have been sounding the alarm, not just about the books, but about the blatant violation of their parental rights. Public schools have been denying opt-outs from LGBTQ curricula, refusing to inform parents about their lesson content, and actively undermining the rights of moms and dads to direct the moral upbringing of their children in their place. And so what is Justice Jackson's response to this tidal wave of totally justified parental concern? Well, take a look at this.
The parent can choose to put their kid elsewhere. You don't have to send your kid to public school. I'm struggling to see how it burdens a parent's religious exercise if the school teaches something that the parent disagrees with. You have a choice. You can homeschool them.
Listen to this woman. This don't make any sense. You talking about you can homeschool them. Some parents can't do that. Some parents have jobs. Some parents can't do that, so they'd rather send their kids to school. And listen to what this woman said. She said, you don't have to send your kid to public school. I'm struggling to see how it burdens a parent's religious exercise if the school teaches something that the parent disagrees with. What the parent are talking about is the books, the adult books, the LG. Like, come on. They don't want their kids reading out of that. They don't want their kids to even look at those books on the shelf, whether they opening up the books or not. They don't even want their kids to even look at that, to even think about that. And this woman talking about the parent have a choice. They can homeschool them. Oh, my God, man. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with now.
Folks, I'm just going to come out and say it. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Jackson hates you, and she hates this country.
She definitely does.
And by the way, keep this in mind. In the past, Supreme Court Justice Jackson has publicly said that voter ID laws are racist and discriminatory because they're just too burdensome for minorities to handle.
My God.
But if parents don't want their 8-year-olds being exposed to explicit LGBTQ propaganda in math class, then they should just fork over thousands of dollars to send their kids to a private school. You see the absolutely insane double standard, right? The very same people who say that asking for voter ID is burdensome racist economic discrimination are now telling working class parents to abandon the public schools that they themselves fund with their tax dollars and instead start teaching their kids full time from their own living room.
Yeah, that is crazy. Type of a full time, and a lot of parents can't do that. And see, that's the thing. Ketanji Brown is not even she ain't even listening to herself talk. She's just talking. A lot of parents can't be at home. Some parents work long hours. So a lot of times when they send their kids to school, by the time their kids get out of school, they'll be getting off work. But yeah, you want them to pay even more money for private school and talking about homeschool if they don't agree with what they children are being taught. Man. And I'm telling you, all these Democrats think like this. All of them think like this. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about the kids. The only thing they care about is illegal aliens. That's all they think about. That's all they care about is illegal aliens. That's why they want them in this country.
Folks, this is what progressivism really looks like. Arrogant, dismissive, and completely detached from reality.
Yep.
And you know what? Here's the truth. Justice Jackson's appointment, like so many of Joe Biden's other diversity hires, wasn't about competence. No, it was about quotas, and it shows. Because not only is she defending explicit content in elementary schools, not only is she mocking and downplaying the concerns of American parents, but she also can't even define the word woman. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
No.
I can't.
You can't?
You don't know what a woman is and you a woman?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
what am I even supposed to say about this?
You
This
tell
is
me you're a woman that don't know how to define what a woman is? And she's like, no. My God.
a sitting Supreme Court justice tasked with interpreting law at the highest level in the country who doesn't feel comfortable defining the word woman, but she feels totally confident dismissing the legitimate concerns of millions of parents across the country. I'll tell you what, folks, the America First movement doesn't play games like this.
Nope.
We believe that parents have rights. We believe that children deserve to be protected from radical ideological LGBTQ indoctrination, and we believe that taxpayer-funded institutions should answer to the people who fund them, not a bunch of unelected, leftist, bureaucratic, activist judges. Let's make something very clear. Expecting parents to uproot their lives, pay thousands of dollars in tuition for private schools, or quit their jobs to homeschool just to escape radical propaganda in their local school system is not a solution, it's a surrender, and that is what the radical left wants. They want public schools to be ideological factories, pumping out progressive foot soldiers, and if you don't like it, well, you can just leave. But we're not going to
That
leave.
is
We are
crazy.
going to take our schools back. And you know what? The majority of Americans are right here with us. They've had it with these books in our elementary schools. They've had it with the radical gender theory, and they've definitely had it with elitist judges like Jackson who
Yep.
think the only solution is to flee the system rather than fix it. Because as we all know, in a sane country, in a moral country, material does not belong anywhere near a child, especially in our
Exactly.
public schools. And any adult
I
who's
mean, she should know that a lot of parents don't want their kids learning about that right now, especially they too little. You don't want them reading books about it. You don't want teachers talking to them about it. I mean, you see the reason why a lot of these parents been suing these schools and stuff because they don't want their kids learning about that. And then you got people like Ketanji Brown Jackson that's trying to force it on kids, and then she try to come up with another excuse as if we stupid about, well, the books will be there, but that don't mean the kids looking in it. The book shouldn't be there at all. It shouldn't even be in there, so they won't even have an opportunity to look at it or open the book or look at the outside. It shouldn't even be there. But this woman don't care. She don't care at all.
says otherwise has absolutely no business sitting on the United States Supreme Court. So I'll tell you what, folks, we have got to keep pushing back against all of this radical progressive ideology, because that is what it's going to take to put America first. Now, folks, before...
All right, salute to Matt Morris TV. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel on YouTube, Matt Morris TV. Let him know in the comment section that DAREALADOGG sent you. And like I said, man, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section, what do y'all think about this? This is just crazy. And she coming up with all of these excuses. So now you want parents to pay even more money. Oh, private school, home school. Like, no, they want to send their kids to public school. But like I said, these Democrats, they don't care at all. They only care about theyself. And like I said before, they care about illegal aliens. They worried about getting them all our money and stuff like that. They don't care at all, and they show it time and time again. So like I said before, thank you all for watching, especially the ones that made it to the end. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.